turned me around. I used to think I was nothing, but look at this love we found. So give me that hand, I can take mine. No, I don't ever wanna see you cry. No more tears. No more tears. Take that chance, you'll be fine. No, I don't ever wanna see you cry. No more tears. No more tears. Never really saw you coming until you turned me around. I used to think I was nothing, but look at this love we found. So give me your hand, like you took mine. No, I don't ever wanna see you cry. Oh, no more tears. Oh, no more tears. Take that chance, we'll be fine. No, I don't ever wanna see you cry. Oh, no more tears.
Oh my god, what an intense session. If you guys want a session that you're gonna have to have a rest day after the next day, this one's it. So, oh, I can't even hold this camera, my arm is that sore from the workout. Let me put you down. So an official welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, or welcome to my YouTube channel if you are new. If you are new, don't forget to like and subscribe because I really do appreciate it and really does support my channel. So today I'm jumping on here because I wanted to talk to you guys about the health and fitness tips I wish I knew earlier. Like the stuff you learn over the progression of your fitness journey, which would be really helpful if you knew at the beginning. So my first tip for you guys is understanding that there's going to be certain types of training and certain fitness styles that you're just never going to enjoy. It's never going to be the thing for you, and by making yourself do those kind of workouts instead of finding what you actually do enjoy, it's just going to make you really unmotivated and really resent your training style. So for me personally, I really dislike swimming, like in a sport kind of way, like getting in a pool and doing laps, and I used to try and make myself do it all the time because I thought, like, I'm Australian, we have summer, like it's hot, you jump in a pool, like that's what you do. And it wasn't until I realized that like I don't have to do that, and I actually really enjoy lifting weights and doing HIIT sessions, and so I can do that for my fitness, and if I go to the beach I can jump in the water, but I don't have to do that training style to keep me fit. The best thing you can do is just find what you enjoy doing and make a fitness routine out of that, rather than feeling pressure to follow along with what other people are doing, or thinking you have to like a certain training style or do a certain type of training to be fit and healthy. And I might as well give you tip number 2 because I'm actually really enjoying being out in the sun, except there's this one fly that's like really irritating me and going for my head, so if I'm like waving around like crazy, that's why. And my second tip for you guys is understanding that you can't rely on motivation, because motivation never lasts. I get this question all the time, how people are like, how do you like get up at 5 a.m. every morning and be so motivated and constantly want to work out and be so motivating? And I'm like, I don't. I really don't. Like, motivation is a real short-term burst of excitement, which we all experience. And I feel like I do experience it a lot because I'm an easily excitable person. But honestly, what keeps me on track with my health and fitness is discipline and creating good long-term habits. It's really not motivation. So if you're looking for like the golden solution on how to be motivated, you can stop looking, because there isn't one. Honestly, it comes down to just forming those habits over time, and yeah, using motivation to get you started, but then relying on habits and discipline. Anyway, they are my first 2 tips. I'm gonna head on home and have a shower and fix my mess of a hair. I washed it last night, so I might just quickly go over with a straightener to make this a little bit easier on your eyes. And then we've actually got the concrete bench rocking up this afternoon. We picked up the planter boxes a couple of days ago now, so it's Wednesday today and we picked them up on Sunday, and so now that the concrete bench is arriving, we can put that in place, we can look at it all, and then we've got to organize the deck, and it's all starting to come together. I'm super excited. So yeah, let's get home and let's get into it.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste
a coffee because it is time to go into our next 2 tips. So tip number 3 for you guys is choosing consistency over intensity, because intensity equals burnout and consistency equals results. Repeat that, remember that. I feel like this saying is one that we hear all the time in the fitness industry, and honestly, I still wanted to put it in this video because I think it is one of the best tips that you can take on board, because irregular, intense, like movement of any form doesn't help you. If you're talking about intense restrictions food-wise, you're going to binge. If you're talking about intense energy exercise-wise, you're going to injure yourself. If you're talking about intense, like all of a sudden energy within your life, you're going to burn out. Every avenue in your life, if you're not regularly creating those habits and building up momentum, and you're just like stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, it never ends well. And I'm telling you right now, if you're someone that thinks that you're going to be able to achieve your goals by just putting in 2 days of like serious work out of the 7 days and then the other 5 not doing anything, it's not going to work out for you, because this segues onto tip number 4, which is what you do 10% of the time doesn't mean. And honestly, I wish I had learned this one a lot earlier too, because when I wrapped my head around this, I was like, I feel like this could be a whole nother video on its own, because there's a lot I could say about this. But basically, what you do 90% of the time is what makes up everything. And what you do that 10% of the time, when you have pizza, when you have ice cream, when you have rest days, when you go out and celebrate a weekend, like last weekend I had a hens, it doesn't matter, because your body is building up momentum and results come from what you're doing 90% of the time, not the 10%. That 10%, honestly, unless your plan is to have a day off every single week and like get every single junk food you can look at and like stuff your face until you physically feel like you're gonna throw up, like yeah, then maybe that 10% might actually do some damage to you. But if you're just living your life and you're just relaxed about that 10%, like it's not going to do anything to you at all. Like it's actually going to benefit you. You need rest to be able to recover, to keep going with your fitness journey. You need to eat that pizza so you're not going to crave it for the entire week and then binge on like a liter of ice cream. I've been there, I know. So putting this into a practical concept, like when you're sitting down and you're trying to like figure out the plan because you want to start your health and fitness journey, or you want to get back on the bandwagon, or like whatever your goal is, just keep that 10% in mind. Don't write down, I'm going to train 7 days a week and I'm not going to eat any kind of sugar, dairy, fat, carb. Like, no, it's not gonna work. Start small, which I covered in my last video, but start with small, consistent steps that you know that you are going to be able to achieve that, because this ties all the way back into motivation. Can I just run us through like a scenario right now? Like, okay, say that you're like brand new to getting into your fitness journey and you sit down, you're like, I'm gonna train 7 days a week and I'm not gonna eat any fats, any sugars, and I'm gonna be low carb. Okay, no worries. Gets to Monday. Monday kind of sucks, you get it done. Tuesday, you start to get really tired and grumpy because you're hungry and you're tired. And then Wednesday hits and you derail, because you wanna know why? It was too hard, because you piled too much stuff on your plate. So honestly, what you need to do is you need to take baby steps and be consistent with those baby steps. So instead, maybe sit down and go, okay, well, I'm brand new to this. I'm gonna start with training once a week, and I'm gonna try and cut down on the processed junk food that I'm having. So instead of having chips on one of the night, if I'm having chips on every night for dinner, dessert, sorry, I'm going to have an acai bowl, or I'm gonna have an ice cream, or something like that. And then, so you do really well that first week because it's easy. Like, well, it's not easy, but it's still like, it's doable. Let's go with that. And so then the next week you're like, okay, well that worked really well. Let's try and up it. Or maybe you do that in the 3rd week and you're like, I'm gonna train twice a week and I'm gonna keep my food the same. And then maybe on week 4, then you train twice a week and you add another thing into the diet component. You understand how that is gonna make you feel so much better about yourself, because instead of being like, oh, this is too hard, and feeling, yeah, like garbage, and going back to how like you're living, even though you're not happy with where your life is at, but you're gonna feel so proud. You're like, hell yeah, I'm on like week 4 and like I'm starting to see a little bit of definition because I've never trained before. Now I'm training twice a week and I'm eating a little bit better, so I'm feeling better, I'm sleeping better. And like, as you slowly increase things, you will feel better because your body will respond positively to it because you haven't just like smashed it with this crazy like intense stuff. And that is how you're going to slowly keep making progress and create a healthy and fit life. And I feel like I kind of rambled a lot there and I kind of incorporated every single one of my tips into one sitting. But I hope that made sense. I feel like with these tip videos, like I'm giving you tips, but like all of the tips kind of work together. So it's really hard to like not bring back tip number 1 and not like pull tip number 5 in there and like explain it. But yeah, now I'm finished talking your ears off. Before I give you my final tip, we're actually gonna go and make some healthy treats. Officially back home with my babies. Snoop is just over there and Fergie is at my feet as always, so there she is. So yeah, just got home from dinner. We went to Kneading Ruby in Wollongong and it was actually a really good time. The food was amazing and the cocktail was pretty good as well, except it went like straight to my head, like it totally relaxed me. So I'm actually feeling a little bit tired now and I'm hoping that I'm about to have a really good night's sleep. So before I start getting ready for bed and wrapping up this video, it's time for my final tip for you guys. So tip number 5 is to make sure you're listening to your cravings. I've had a lot of people message me or I've spoken to a lot of people about this topic and they always say to me, Amy, I don't listen to my cravings because when I do, I binge. Like if I am craving chocolate, I can't just have one little piece of chocolate. Like I need the whole block. And the reason that you need the whole block when you finally do have that piece of chocolate is because you're restricting yourself. Restriction equals binge. When you give your body what it's craving in small dosages, you kind of take away the power of that bad food and the kind of reaction to the food because your body's like, yeah, like why would I want a whole block? I can have this whenever I want it. Like you take away the power. It's kind of like if I took you into a room right now and it was filled with all of these amazing things and I sat you down and I said, look, you can like sit wherever you want, you can touch anything you want except that one red button that's sitting on the wall. Like do not touch that. Anything else, go crazy. That one button, don't touch it. What do you want to do as soon as I leave the room? You want to touch that button. It's the same thing with everything in life, including food. As soon as you say, I can't have that, how much more do you want that? So if you just listen to your cravings as you have them and practice having them in moderation, you'll find it's easier over time to have them in moderation and you're not really going to crave them because like I said, you're taking the power and the wow factor away from those foods. So it's just food. And with that, I'm gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it and get some value out of it as always. And if you did, I'd really appreciate if you could quickly pause and give this video a like and subscribe because it really does support my channel and I really do appreciate it. But besides that, I hope you're having a beautiful morning or night whenever you're watching this. I look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 11 AM. Bye guys!